Welcome to Coming In Hot. Thank you live from Airplay Beach for the intro music. We are recording live from Darling New Media Studios in Midtown Sac. All right, people. I got a power brother couple in the building. So check it out. I met these guys a long time ago. We were doing a Juneteenth festival back in 2015 down at Southside Park. They were so busy. I remember that line. And this is when I first started food trucking. And I didn't meet too many black folks when I first started. I thought it was just, these gourmet food trucks, rap, everybody dealing with Sacto Mofo, everybody being part of, these celebrity chef types. And then I go to this Juneteenth festival out of Southside Park. I saw these two brothers. The line is all the way down here. I didn't have no line at the time. Just to be truthful. I was over here messing around. I was dealing with smoked pork belly. I was dealing with burgers. These guys brought the rib truck and killed me at this festival. If you don't know who I'm talking about, we talking about the Burgess Brothers in the building. What is up, Jonathan? What is up, Matthew? Thank you for coming in hot.
Oh, doggone it, Chef. I mean, that intro was incredible, man. And thank you, brother. I do remember that, though. I remember that. Came over scratching your head like, what did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong? And what I did wrong is I wasn't making no black folk food. I was over here trying to deal with gourmet food truck chefs. It wasn't going to happen at the Juneteenth. They weren't going for the smoked pork belly at the Juneteenth festival. They weren't messing with me that day.
We put the smoke in the air, man. You put that smoke in the air, and then it's history, baby.
Yes, and one other thing, you guys, you could have roasted me that day, but you guys were so generous and so forthcoming with, all the information that you guys had. Anytime that, we were at a festival or event together, you're always busy, but you always had time to come over to me, prop me up, always, good things to say to me. And I really want to thank you guys for just being that sounding board that I needed back then, because it's hard, if you guys don't know, because these guys are so big right now, they started with the food truck. Well, did you start with the food truck or did you start with the barbecue restaurant, or was it both at the same time?
You know what, Cecil? Hold up, man. One, thanks for that darn introduction, because you got me hyped up. I mean, I'm coming in hot. I'm spicy today. I don't usually wear red. Okay, I didn't put on a red shirt. John thought I was going to a club or something. But now, hey, let's just take it back. No, seriously, Cecil, we started out, man, not even in a food truck, bro. Mm-hmm. We were like doing pop-ups out of a tent. Nice. Is how we originally started. And so we started out just, doing these venues, different festivals from a tent, the screens, the walls, all that stuff, just to get teeth in the game. And then we went from, that tent and the barbecue smoker to John's great idea of brick and mortar.
My great idea. Well, hold on, Matt. Hold on. Since you came in hot, we're going to tell Cecil where it really started. It started on Good Day Sacramento with Ashley and some other folks. We went out for a burger competition.
Oh, you mean when you lost the burger battle? Okay.
Okay, so he wore his gun belt. There we go again. Okay, he wore his gun belt. He intimidated people. But Ashley was the start of this. Ashley Williams, she was the genius behind the Burgess Brothers. We had a Burgess Brothers burger battle. She called me. I still remember this day. May was Burger Month. And she said, John, we want to do a promo between a firefighter and a police officer. You guys come do a burger battle. Okay. We did that. And then literally after that, we got so much knowledge out of it. We started doing like a pop-up in a tent on burgers, Burgess Brothers burgers.
Okay. All
and
right.
From there we went, we catered for a year, man. And then said, you know what, let's open up this restaurant. Do the doggone thing. And it was burgers. Anybody can do a burger, but we were smoking them. I told you what, put the smoke in the air, right? And listen, That's a tip. So if somebody just watched this, you're gonna do some smoked burgers. You got it from the Burgess Brothers. Now look out, because we coming back. We'll talk
All
about
right.
it later, but we coming back in full force.
Okay.
coming
Wait. We ain't no. We ain't go. Well, let's guys. You started. We don't need the comeback story. We need to start. We got to start at the start. We got to start in the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
See, so that's what I was trying to give you. I'm trying to give you the beginning. John going all over the place, man. You should have just muted. Can't you just mute him?
I'm
Just
hot
mute
right
him.
now. I'm hot right
I
now.
can't mute him from my end, brother.
I'm hot. Okay, I'm hot right now, brother.
He was coming in hot. Yes, he was.
Let me take me a sip of this gold and cool down.
All right, he put it on mute.
So,
All right, Matthew, you're up.
If I can just finish. So we went from, again, the pop-up tent to the restaurant. And then, of course, it made sense too. And I got to give credit to our brother, Moby. I mean, if anybody from Sacramento remember Moby and the fish, right? Moby's player plates, right?
Yep.
And Moby's was probably the first one in the game of food truck. I'm telling you, we learned so much game from him that, we wouldn't have been able to be where we're at today if we weren't working in that truck, learning the tricks of the trade with him. I mean, and he was a genius far before his time, well before food trucks got really, really popular. He had one of the first one.
What was that one called?
It was called Moby's.
Moby's, okay.
Yep. Anybody from Sacramento knows that player's plate. And so
and the sweet tea, and the sweet tea, dog, and sweet tea.
Yeah, sweet tea. And so really looking at it, and we went to him and said, look, we got this. He always pumped the thing. He was like, man, you need to do a food truck too. You can't have a restaurant without doing a food truck with it. That was his motto, saying, because you can pump so much out of it. And so really, we took a food truck that he had, retrofitted it, and made it into Burgess Brothers. But he afforded us that opportunity. And so now the food truck would hit different locations as well. We have the brick and mortar, and just really hitting it from both angles where, how it is. See, so, you've done it, right? And so the food trucks can go other places that you can't get all the time and help with the marketing, the branding of a concept or product, just getting you out there, right? And so for some, it's a great start. And that was a great go-between the restaurant and then having the food truck. And so really we looked at this and said, you know what, we're still in our professions. It was taking a lot. See, so it's a lot to run a restaurant, and that, right? And so you got two guys that had, really, we didn't have restaurant experience, and we learned rather quickly because you don't want to lose money. The margins are really, really tight. And if you don't learn quickly, you're going to be out of business. And so what we did, because we have two brains that are better than one, I was always, and continue to be, the R&D specialist with all our products. John's always business accoutrement, business strategy, looking at other opportunities. And so I was like, man, we in the restaurant, people keep on messing up this darn cornbread. I'm packaging it. I'm serious. So I would go in, so seriously, I would go in and make up the mix. I didn't want nobody to have the recipe. So I make Ziploc patches, Ziplocs of the mix, right? And write 1 cup milk, 1 cup water, 1 cup oil. And they would still mess that up. So I was like, okay, let me put this in an actual package. Hopefully that they follow the instructions now. And so really what came from the restaurant is really, bottling and packaging our products. And we're like, well, the restaurant space it's hard. It is. But also we wanted something more that you really didn't see, and really looking at how we move from being a restaurant to branded products and our own products and getting those into the hospitality retail space.
But Matt, you can't forget, man, where this all started. Before there was cornbread mix, man, there was the barbecue sauce, bro. And so the reality is that you round found that recipe of the barbecue sauce. And quite frankly, if you didn't make it or I didn't make it, it just didn't taste like it was supposed to. So really, one of the things that we had to do, so when Matt said, look, I'm tired of making this sauce. As a matter of fact, we were taking a really cheap sauce, no name on it, and adding to it. And Matt looked at the back of the label and said, man, I'm gonna make our own. And he did it. And literally it was like, man, okay, we got something.
Yeah.
And so we went ahead on, and that's the thing about even people wanting to get in the food game when it comes to, everybody wants to package a product. Well, the only reason we got a co-packer to do our product is because we had the restaurant and we said, look, we'll buy the 5,000 gallons or the 2,500 gallons or the 500 gallons. That's a minimum, right? Because we're putting it on all our ribs and our pulled pork and chicken. And then that became where people wanted to get your sauce from the store, you know, from the shop. And so that's a whole nother game. And it put us up on some real game. And, you know, we went full circle, but we couldn't do both, run a restaurant and then take this brand, Burgess Brothers, and make it a household name too. I mean, it's almost really hard to do both, right? And so we got to the point of the restaurant, still in the public safety profession, because, you know, that has been a benefit and fortunate for us to have that, but to show, hey, this is what we look outside the fire department or law enforcement. There are other things that you can do. So many people get stuck and they just see you in that food. And so that was a good foundation for us, you know, the benefits, the constant, consistent. But when Matt tells you literally, you know, they're 24 hours in a day, Matt's got something in what he says about, you know, your hours and how you account for them. But literally, I mean, it's what you do in that 24 hours, you know, to get you where you are today. You know all about it. I mean, listen, we're all out there in the food truck game. I see you doing what you do, and I'm proud of you. And so now we're in a position to where we took the food product, learned a lot by the school of hard knocks, man. I can't tell you, people talk about all the successes. You look at us, you say the Burgess Brothers, we're in the back of buses, we're doing this. Success? No, man, there's a whole bunch of failures in there. If I could tell you how much money, and it's hard. So my thing is now, even like we're putting you up in game, if I can share something with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made and you benefit, man, that's how it's supposed to be. But if I told you how much money we lost, just trying to get a sauce on the market, or doing road shows, or I got the best sauce, whatever else. I tell people now, you want to do a sauce here, I'm gonna put you up, and this is how it needs to go. So if you look at us now, you know, we're selling sauce by the gallons. We'll go back in the grocery store when the grocery store is saying, "I want you."
I would say by the pallets, brother.
Well, gallons, pallets, they add up, Matt. Gallons and pallets, same thing, right? So that's the whole thing. You know, how do we benefit the hospitality realm, like, you know, where you're working at? And so people say, find your niche. Well, unfortunately, sometimes we, as African American people, Black people, have to do things the unconventional way. There's no such thing as local, hyper local, regional, national. You're looking at two brothers that went local, rejected local. All right, we're going to Texas. Okay, we're going to Nevada. Okay, we're going to Harvard. Now we're going to New York, right? Now the product, national brand, national. And it didn't go in any. So when people say that you can't, well, things happen differently for different people. And you know, like I know, we do things sometimes unorthodox, but that resiliency from the ancestors, that's just in the blood, right?
Yes.
Resiliency. And so it's like most people, I'm gonna tell you, we know some good people that then gave up in this game already. Most people would have already given up.
Yes.
You're looking at two brothers that ain't, and look, we're not even at the tip of the iceberg. I'm looking forward to doing some good stuff with you, man. When we bring this all together, when you see what we're unfolding and the relationships that we've been able to kind of formulate, and I like to say partnerships. I'm not into sponsorship because you just pay to be sponsored. Partners are mutually beneficial and both parties win, and those relationships last forever.
Yeah, we'll talk about you know, the big business that you're talking about, because I'm sure we ran into the same problem at the new arena, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's go back to you bottling, because I remember walking through the aisles of Rayleigh's and looking over and seeing Burgess Brothers, boom, right there, barbecue aisle, barbecue sauce aisle. So how did that come about? Like, you know, for somebody like me that, you know, I haven't really looked into retail, but, you know, a lot of people ask for my shakes, you know, for the hot chicken and things like that. And I know there's people out there listening. How did you go about that? We don't have to go really elaborate on it, but, you know, you said road shows, you said, you know, different festivals in the tent. Like, what was the process of you, you know, getting to the Rayleigh's and other supermarkets in Sacramento and beyond? Like, what does that look like?
So I'm gonna tell you, here's a process, because like I said earlier, we had a lot of failures, right? So I'm gonna just give you the process of what it is. Build your brand, right? So you build the brand of, whether it's, Nashville proper, and you got the following. That's what Rayleigh is gonna want. How many are you selling? How many people know about you? That is truly the process. Obviously, when you get into the details of the process, you've got to have a co-packer that's actually gonna ball it for you. UPCs, the insurance requirements, those are all just standard things in business that you have to have. But the biggest thing is that once you get to that shelf, you don't stay on the shelf unless people are buying it. So I tell people this: build your brand. So when they go in the store, they're looking for you. And one of the things that we had when we went in the store, people couldn't find us. They got tired of looking. I got tired of looking for my own sauce once, because there's so many sauces. I mean, that's the reality of it. And so if you haven't really done a good job with that brand, people is like, they're gonna go back to what they've been buying. Well, let me just get the Lawry's, because I can't find Nash proper.
Yeah.
So build your brand is what I tell people.
One, just to add on to that, see. So one thing that I would say too, even that's even more so before, when we first hit the market, that's at everybody's fingertips, is social media. Bro, I mean, if you can start building that and sell it in your own platform, and so there's all these algorithms and pay for clicks and all those things that you can do to really be successful in building your own brand within, whether it's Shopify or, what's the other one, XD, or what is it called? I don't know, use it, but it's a smaller platform. And then you have Amazon, right? So again, you have these different platforms that will all go into play, which is building your brand. And if you want to move into retail still, you can do that, but at least you have numbers that support it and that show. So the buyer on the other end can look at that and say, oh, wow, okay. The other part that it helps you out with is you're not boxed in. So if retail falls, you still got e-commerce, right?
Okay.
And it's moving for where you want it to move to. And so the great thing about e-commerce is you can touch so many different people in so many different states.
Right. And the last thing that I'll do, because I do like to give nuggets, and this is about giving back and showing people, right? So I would say this too, and this is what was one of the failures, and this is where we learned. A lot of times people go from farmers markets into the grocery stores, and just know that there's not a lot of money. You got to be selling pallets and truckloads to really make money when you get into bottling either a spice or a sauce or something like that's going in the stores. So just know your pricing, that margin. When I talk margin, grocery stores want to make a minimum of 18%. And the upwards, if you can go 30% or more, you're better. So you got to do your pricing, your numbers in reverse. You might be selling a product at a farmer's market for $5 a bottle. Well, that's good, but you're not going to sell that to the wholesaler or the distributor at $5 a bottle. And if you do, then it's going to go on the shelf at $7, and ain't nobody going to buy $7 unless your brand's strong enough. That's one of the things that happened to us, is that I didn't know those numbers beforehand, didn't recognize the game. And so I went in to my distributor too high, because we were delivering direct store delivery, DSD. So that's almost from your trunk to the store. And then you go into distribution. Well, your numbers have got to fall, because that distributor's got employees that they want to pay, right? So you got to say, okay, well, I got to make it up in volume. Well, just know, as a small guy, they're not going to buy a truckload of your product. They might bring you in half a pallet. And then, but your minimum is you got to order full pallet. So now you're sitting on this, and you got warehouse space and all the other things. But that's a whole nother topic. But I want to at least give people, the business component of it. So it's not just so easy. I got the sauce and I want to take it to the market and go in the grocery stores. There's a whole lot in there. And, those are some classes that we can do another time, but just to give you the gist of it.
Yeah, that'd be a whole nother hour here.
Yeah.
We could talk about this stuff for hours and hours and hours. I love this kind of talk. But all right, so we started with the sauce. You had the links, right? You got beer. Oh, is that what you guys are sipping on? Golden Ale. All right, all right.
Yeah,
you guys need to start, dropping off cases, because people do have restaurants that sell beer. So we got to get some of that in there. Don't worry about it. I'll pay you,
Okay. We got you. I got you.
Yeah. Always holler at me.
Okay.
Waffle.
That's hot.
That's hot. We coming in hot with the Waffle.
Let's go.
We got a churro, We got a waffle, made a baby. Are you guys back there making pot of shoe dough? How you don't have to give the whole recipe, but
Look.
Are you drinking? How many of these Burgess Brothers beers did you drink before the waffle came into the picture?
Listen,
you
man.
have to take a sip.
Listen, man. I'm gonna let Matt take his out to the show, but I'm gonna do this for the introduction of the chur waffle.
All right.
It's Grandma Rosetta's cornbread mix.
Okay.
Cornbread mix.
Okay.
It's a churro, and you make a waffle, and you get the chur waffle. I'll let Matt take it from there. Okay.
Okay.
Man, look, the chur waffle again. That was the pride and joy. But it's funny because we birthed that. I mean, you can see behind me. I don't know if you can, but there's a chur waffle maker.
Mm-hmm.
But the birth of that came from really. I took the family out to a Mexican restaurant. They ordered churros.
Mm-hmm.
They put ice cream on it. It got soggy. Well, at this point, we had already appeared in Guys Grocery Games. We were already doing the stuff. We knew that the product made a waffle. Grandma's cornbread mix made a waffle. And so I went home. I'm like, man, let me dust this darn waffle in cinnamon and sugar. And that's what I did.
Okay.
I dusted in cinnamon and sugar. And then funny enough, so is that this is the power of social media. I put it out. I think I did a live or something several years back. It popped up where I asked people, I'm like, what do we call this? Because it's a waffle, but it's cornbread. It's dusted in cinnamon and sugar. What do we call it? I put that out just to our fan base.
Mm-hmm.
They start going crazy over the different names. And someone said chur awful.
No, Matt, not someone. Cecilia Cager said chur awful.
Okay, well, I can't remember who said chur awful. Okay. Someone said chur awful. Someone else said churro waffle. I think it was Angie, a coworker of mine. And then I took the churro and the waffle and moved the letter around, basically took out the R and O and said chur waffle. There we go. And so that was the birth of chur waffle.
Sometimes it's that easy, right?
But here's a kicker on this, right? See, so and this is the deal where it comes into really branding and protection of brand protection, brand identity. I did research and found out that chur waffle was not trademarked. Churro was trademarked. Churro you cannot trademark, because it's a generic Spanish name for a donut.
Yes.
Chur waffle was wide open. And so it's funny because we sat down with a gentleman. He's like, man, you got something on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Mr. Pops. He's like, man, you guys really got something with that, man. You should really consider trademarking it. And you know how it is when you're busy working. I'm like, really? I got to do that? I don't want to do that. Why don't you? He's like, no, Matt, that's valuable. You need to trademark it. And so I took Mr. Pop's idea, Steve. I'm like, I took his advice, went in, and early on I did all our trademarks for Burgess Brothers, the Chihuahua, all our stuff. Now we have attorneys that do it, but I went in and did it myself. I secured the name. So when they gave me the name Chihuahua, which covered waffles,
game over.
It's game over. We just created a new brand, a whole new brand. Hello, you see the phone? Little pop socket in the back of the phone. Chihuahua, okay?
Chihuahua.
Now, where are your shoes at?
I didn't put on Chihuahua shoes, bro. That's too much, bro. That's too much overkill. And so the Chihuahua really gives me delight because we created this waffle that was a cornbread waffle, and then it gave birth to the Chihuahua maker, right? Because again, R&D, I'm thinking, okay, how can we make this just unique? And then we take this little Chihuahua and we make it, and it's the perfect size, and dust and cinnamon and sugar, and it's like, oh my gosh, bang bang. Niner game. Bang, bang. Niner game. Hello.
I like that.
So I said, John,
where are you making these waffle makers, these waffle makers at? Overseas, or you in United States? Where are you manufacturing those?
Yeah, no. See, so all our waffle makers and the mini waffle makers are all overseas. As you know, just cost effective.
Of course.
It cost a fortune to have it done here. Unfortunately, the States was never set up for manufacturing in that deal. And, maybe in some time in the future it will be, but, it's only going to be as good as what somebody's willing to pay.
Yes.
And, overseas, that's what they've done. And they've done it well. And we're dependent on them to some level degree. As long as they put out an incredible product, we own it, put our name on it. We're all behind it, and we'll keep the money rolling.
Yeah.
The big part about that, Cecil, is understanding overseas and having those relationships. And so again, it's not just going with anyone overseas. the production line that puts out our product, they do 90% of every appliance that's in the U.S. So you talk about back at every appliance and it says made in China. That's probably one of our manufacturers. But again, they protect that. We don't just give it out there. And so it is something that we can put our name on. We stand behind it. There's warranties on the units that we bring in. We do our designing. I do most of the designing of our products. Send it to our sourcing team. They then take our specifications, send us our samples after we get it. We have a working prototype, which again, I will test for at least 6 months before we put it into production here. So
nice.
But I did say Bang Bang Niner Gang about the Waffle because I thought John was going to segment into the Waffles in Levi Stadium.
Come
on now, buddy.
We ride with the Niners because the Niners is good and the Pioneers and the Gold Rush. The Blues. I got red on right now and we hot. Don't get it wrong. So Bang Bang Niner Game, we did the Waffle. We did an incredible presentation to Nick Wolf and the hospitality team down there, and they loved the Waffle. Nick actually said it reminded him of his grandmother's polenta. Because Matt, the genius like you know how you chefs get together, man, right? You do stuff, right?
Look, we creative, bro. We create. That's what we do. We go in and create stuff.
Okay, well, we on a time limit, bro. So let me finish. So you know how y'all do, Cecil. He took the doggone cornbread little mini waffle on a demo.
Okay.
Took some marinara sauce and then Parmesan cheese, and he dusted it in Parmesan cheese, then put marinara on the top of it.
It was garlic Parmesan, brother. Garlic Parmesan.
Okay.
That sounds delicious.
Garlic Parmesan. So now you got it. And then when they played the doggone cheese heads, Green Bay, we took the same thing with that garlic Parmesan and the waffles and put Italian chicken sausage. People lost their mind.
Ooh.
So it was Bang Bang Niner Game. It was for real.
That sounds delicious. That sounds amazing. All right. I'm gonna segue because I wanna go over this with you because like I said, a few minutes ago, like I got a good feeling that you guys ran into the same thing, and I'm just gonna call them out. The Golden One Arena.
G1C, baby. G1C. Hey.
I'm gonna tell you my story. If you got a similar story, that's good. So we're supposed to open National Proper downtown last year in April. April 2020, we're going to open up. So me being the businessman that I am, hey, there's a huge arena right down the street. Let me have a meeting with them. Go to them like, hey, this is what we're about. We did the Calling All Dreamers. We're the winners. Just wanted to come down here and, kind of collab because that's what we do. We collab. We like, all right, cool. You're on the same block. Let's collab together. I go up there, have this meeting, young dude. And he straight up, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, what's your budget looking like? And I'm like, what do you mean my budget? Like, are we collabing? Like, this is our budget, right? And so I'm sitting there, I'm talking to him and he's like, okay, let me break this down for you. And he gives me this sheet of paper like this. And he was like, all right, so we could do this 3-month deal with you for $30,000.
Okay. Well,
yeah, no, I got to give them $30,000 and then I got to license my chicken sandwich to them and then maybe get 2-3% out of it.
Wow. Cecil. That, my friend, you're talking to the wrong people. See, Matthew and I have learned you go straight to the top. You go straight to the top. Okay. So when you understanding that when you have the middle people and the lower level people, there are systems that are put in place, and that's a game called pay to play. It just is. And so, there are some, a lot of what business works like. A lot of businesses work like that. You got to pay to play. And so there's a cost to get in, and you look at it as a marketing expense because I'm just building my brand. I mean, I can tell you some stories about HSN when people think, oh, you're making millions because you're on HSN. No, it's actually marketing. I actually lost money because I had to pay for my airfare, and by the time it's all made up. So I would say that's not uncommon. It's that was not our experience, and we didn't sit with that middle guy. You know, I don't like to drop names, but we went straight to the top if that helps. And so it'll be a very different look. And the conversation that we had was this. Gentlemen, we love the Sacramento Kings. We love our city. But let's just be honest and call it what it is. I believe that the organization within the Sacramento Kings is diverse and inclusive. And I believe that, you know, when you fly at the level of 100,000 square feet, you believe that everybody below you is doing what the organization has set out to do, but that's not the case. So when I look around this arena, I see no African-American representation in here, but when I look on the court, I see 80%.
Yes.
How's that fair? And what are we going to do about it? So I can tell you that the players at the top, the individuals at the top of that Kings organization are making some change. And so what I would say is, you know, not here, but we roundtable have a conversation and let's put our heads together and figure out how that looks and what we do. And that's where collaboration comes in. But I can assure you that the Burgess Brothers are already in conversations to make sure that we have representation. And if you know about us, like you said, it's not just about the brothers. This is about everybody else. So, I mean, I could give a doggone, look, you can go in there with my product and be good, you know, but we're going to roll something out so that we are inclusive and diverse. You know, I asked you, Cecil, how many times you been down at that Golden One Bridge cooking?
Oh, all the time, man. I do the after hours though.
Wait, hold on, wait. Time the hell out right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm talking about the Tower Bridge Farm to Fork dinner.
I do the after party.
Okay, stop. I'm not talking about after. We not coming. Look, we done being backdoor. Okay, we ain't trying to do the after hours. Okay.
Yes.
What I want to see representation on that bridge. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
they
when
just
we
had
start
an
talking about
all-female chef crew last year or the year. Yeah.
Hold on.
I know. Go ahead.
Let's put some salt and pepper in there. You know, let's do some, you know, Black, Indigenous, people of color chefs show up with everybody else and make this bridge inclusive. That is the goal as we move forward. That's the goal of the Burgess Brothers, is that when we talk about farm to fork, I think Matt said it's best. Who's farm and who's fork? Who's farm and who's fork? We don't have farms anymore. There's maybe a couple. And who's eating on the end of that fork? We eat at the end of those forks, but guess what? Just need to be in pantries.
Yes.
Your spice need to be in pantries. You know, if you come out with a slaw mix, that needs to be in pantries. So when we talk to Rayleigh's, 515, Nugget, and all these other places, Sam's Club, okay, let's look at this supply market and see how many, let's just call it out, Black, Indigenous, people of color suppliers that are in your network. Because I can tell you how many are doing business for Sacramento Unified School District or University of Davis Hospital. Or, you know, I mean, the list goes on. Costco. You know, listen, okay, we get it, but we're here and we've been ready.
Yes.
Now we're ready more than ever. And unfortunately, it took a tragic event that we all had to witness for people to wake up and say, oh, well, there you are. You know, we've been here for 400 years.
Yes.
We've been cooking some of the best products on the market since we've been here. So, you know, when you talk about African-American food, I told a guy the other night, we can do Italian, we can do Hispanic, we can do Japanese and Chinese. There ain't nothing that we can, and we can do soul food. Where else do you get that talent? And I'm hot right now. I'm not even a chef, but I'm hot right now. Where else can you get that talent? See, so you can beat some breaks off somebody making an Italian lasagna.
I can.
Matt can make a shrimp fried rice that make you think that, you know, he was somebody else.
Yep.
Where else do you get that type of talent? You're looking at it, man. So there, yeah, we hot today. I'm glad we're talking about because I'm hot right now.
Yeah, we're coming in hot. I love it.
Look, it's a new day, Cecil. I'm telling you. I mean, this equity piece is it's important to me. I'm passionate about it, but you know, what brings that passion is understanding and not only knowing American history, but knowing Black history. And so that's a history they don't really teach. And once you're able to couple both of those together and understand your history, you're positioned to make the change that's needed to be made, right? And also educate those that don't know. And this is California. So we're in the right place. We got the right people at the right time. And it's about the right people coming together to really make those changes and to collaborate. I mean, and hey, I don't mind. Let us be in the forefront because we understand so much and we'll lead that way. But it's not just about the Burgess Brothers. Like Jonathan said, it's never been just about the Burgess Brothers, right? I'm looking, we're looking to knock down barriers for others that look like us that have been left out of this opportunity wheel. And that's all we're ever asking for. We're not looking for a handout. We just want the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's what I always ask for. And just to back you up on that, there's never been a time that I've ever reached out to you or ran into one of you, you know, at an event. I already said this before. You guys always showed love, always had my back, and I really appreciate it. What are the new ventures on the horizon for the Burgess Brothers? Because I know you guys always got, you know, you always doing your thing, but you always got something back here going on. So let's go ahead. New, big new ventures on the horizon. What do we got going on?
Matt, you want me to drop it or you want to?
John, you can drop it, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. So here's the biggest new venture that we got going on. Aramark, one of the biggest hospitality companies, you know, in the United States. We signed a partnership deal with them to go into Sac State.
Oh, nice.
So we will put a Burgess Brothers concept on Sac State campus, in the market square, but also in concessions. And we are looking at expanding that concept and brand throughout Aramark other locations. You know, as you know, they've got a number of Los Rios colleges in the region. They do things from ASU to Purdue to Alabama, Ole Miss, and so, you know, the Oakland A's, San Jose Sharks. We just had dinner with their executive team. They flew in the transition team and talked about all the venues and the things that we want to do. And what I really liked about them is that they're open to what it is that Matthew and I are doing, and that's bringing in, Cecil, like people like yourselves or products that we put in. You know, one of the things that we decided is, you know, there's a Bill's hot sauce. We've got one of the best peach flavors hot sauce. It's on our menu. And you know how it goes when it's menued, right? Once it becomes on the menu, you got to buy it. And so now that goes into distribution. But the other thing that I'd say, Aramark is a big deal. But, we just, listen, Levy, they just ordered a couple pallets of hot links. So, you know, our hot link sausage is going to Texas right now.
Nice.
In a ballpark. Universal Studios Hollywood is using the cornbread mix. And then we got Knott's Berry Farms that just actually made the hot link. They put it in 2 locations, ordered 200 cases just recently, and they're not even all the way open. So, you know, as we look to expand, you know, I'll let Matt talk about what's that store with Levi reopening, with the Waffle concept. And so, I mean, there's just so much. It's like, where do we stop or where do we go? But, you know, really, I would say this, I said this earlier, Cecil, it's about partnerships. You know, this whole collaboration with the Roof is Gold, right? Mm-hmm. New Avisha Brewery, David Go went to school with him, great guy. Dave gets to manufacture this incredible beer, and yes, Golden One Center, it'll go in. It's a gold, it's got to. And a host of other places. But I'll leave you on this. Matt talked about history, and I'm gonna let him talk about it. So what's really big and near to our heart and next is knowing that our great-great-grandfather came over here to California in 1849. He was one of the original pioneer trailblazers, the only African-American listed in the town of Coloma. And when I looked at and peeled back, we looked and peeled back his history. So which has never been told, we're going to share that with the world. And so really, we formed a nonprofit. It's called the African American Gold Rush Museum. We will look at feasibility studies, partner with collaborative partners, and put a museum in downtown Sacramento, talking about this inclusive history that not only included African Americans, but Native Americans, and the incredible white allies that we would have never done this without, to show what this unity is supposed to be. And of course, on the side of that, we got to do a House of Burgesses, right? House of Burgesses, you know. And so, you know, now I'm looking at Cecil. Really, when I talk about food, House of Burgess means what type of food do you have? What I just named off earlier. What do you want? Because we can do it all. So that's what we got, man.
I love it. What you got, man?
You know, I mean, I don't know what else I have to that other than, you know, one of the biggest, newest things to that, and I talked about equity a little bit, so is that I'm in this assessment, right? And the really looking at the food assessment in Sacramento County alone. based on the challenges that you face and others have faced, right? Really looking at that and peeling back the onion and saying, okay, for all these entities that come to Sacramento, our region, just our county, you got to carve out space for us because we belong. No difference in, and again, we have to start holding them accountable. I mean, when you have the city of Sacramento that signs a 20-year contract with Centerplate Hospitality for a convention center, okay, how many Black suppliers are you using or BIPOC suppliers are you using in that? And if the answer is 0, then we need to change it and correct it because we didn't have those opportunities. Again, with all this talent, why did you have to go to Centerplate? Why can't we take a collective like Cecil, Burgess, what have you? There's so much talent here that we could have handled that.
Yeah.
Could have scaled jobs for the region, could have helped promote our businesses as well, but no. And so if they're going to operate that way, no difference in Aggie Square, that they're talking about all these hundreds of millions of dollars they're pumping into and the markets that they're bringing in. Okay, well, that's fine. But I think we as a people have to start holding them accountable. Otherwise, we continue to be left out. If Sacramento talks about being as diverse as they are and as inclusive they are, then let's make them and hold them accountable for that. You can't say that, oh, we're inclusive, we're diverse, but then you bring this huge conglomerates in that cuts us out. The only thing they source from is Cisco, who doesn't want suppliers like us in their system.
Yes.
It doesn't work for us.
I hear you. Woo.
That's hot.
Woo.
That's hot, Cecil. That's hot.
Woo. Burgess Brothers came to play today. Speaking of playing, you ready to play some games?
Let's go. What you got? What you got?
Top 5. Now these, I know you guys have flown all around the world. So this is, you guys gonna get in a little bit of trouble on this one. I need the top 5 barbecue spots anywhere in the world, dead or alive. I need Matthew and Jonathan Burgess top 5 barbecue spots.
We got to go to Texas. I'm just telling you, John. You want to give it to him in Texas?
You got to go to Texas, man. So let's see. Well, there's Salt Lick in Texas is one. Matt, what's the one that's in Houston? In the gas station. It looks like I can't think of the name right now. But,
oh my gosh. Yes,
it's a gas station. They're in a gas station. They're in almost look like the Shell station. I can't think of their name, but I know they're bomb though.
Yes, I can't think of the name. Oh man, you had a Heart Eights too, but I think what's name was much better than Heart Eights. Salt Lick was. And then
did you say Heart 8?
Heart Eights, John. They're known in Texas. They are. You know. They
I
have
don't know why you
shops.
playing around with Heart 8, man.
Hey,
you know.
Hey.
I ain't been to Gates, but I heard I got to put Gates on the map. I ain't been there, but I heard about him. I'm gonna just put him out there.
Gates. Yeah. I mean, now that the travel ban is lifted, look, I'm gonna be out. You know, I'm gonna be out. But you got to go to Texas, Salt Lick, and then what's that one? John, he is in the gas station. I can't call the name. We've been there multiple times. I can't think of the name right now.
Okay, we could just say the gas station barbecue.
Yeah, it's a little hole in one, but it's gas station barbecue. It's Bob.
All right. Was that 5? Did you guys do 5?
Oh, that was 3, man. That was 3. You know, that was only 3, Matt. What else?
Burgess Brothers, man. Shoot.
No, well, you got to. I mean, come on, man. Burgess. He said top 5. I mean, we gonna be in there.
Hell yeah! Let me smoke a brisket. We in there. Shoot, we got high links, everything else, man. What other places got their own brand? You darn right, we up in there. Shoot.
Okay, I didn't know it was about the Burgess Brothers. We put the Burgess Brothers in there. So that's that. Well, Matt, you want to give somebody else props in Sac though? I mean, he's doing all right over there. You don't give Rob no props, man. I mean, Rob is doing the doggone thing. I mean, they didn't put our cornbread mix in, but you know, I get the brothers or the sauce. I mean, we can help him on the sauce, but I mean, you gotta give Rob props, man.
Oh, Archie, yeah. Urban Roots, they cool. They is. I mean, if I had to go to a place in Sacramento, look, yeah. I mean, just don't the sauce. But a lot of times you don't need sauce in the barbecue, right?
So you're bringing the Burgess Brothers sauce to Urban Roots. Are we saying that right now?
I'm just saying, are we
coming in hot with the Burgess Brothers coming in with like an old black grandma with the sauce in their pocket?
And a mop.
And a mop.
A mop brush.
Hey, this has been fantastic. We got to head out pretty soon here, but this is our final piece of the puzzle. We are going to come in hot. So I want one from each of you, and we can't go all over the place with this. Keep it a couple minutes each one of you. I love talking to you guys, and we're going to have a lot to talk about after this because I need to pick your two brains. Okay. It's been a while.
Okay.
We all been busy.
Right.
And I'm just glad, I'm just going to say this right now. I'm glad that we're here because when I met you guys back in 2015, you guys were just starting out, like maybe a couple years in the game. I was just starting out. And this is a wonderful thing that we could be sitting here talking 5-6 years later. You guys then took over the whole goddamn world. I'm trying to take over Sacramento, just 10th Street and Elk Grove right now. But I'm telling you, two brains I need to pick. But we're going to get back on topic. Jonathan, you're going first. Come in hot.
What you got?
Anything you want to talk about, man?
He ain't ready.
Oh man, okay. I'm like shit. Here's what I want to talk about, and I'm coming in hot. University of Davis, California is in Oak Park. Okay, all the black people that got pushed out of the gold country and originally before the freeways were cut in were living in Oak Park. I want to ask, and Santana, I'm calling you out right now. Chef Santana Diaz, I'm coming in hot.
He just got promoted.
He just got promoted. Now he's over culinary innovation. So I want to see some diversity over there at University of Davis using some BIPOC suppliers in their supply chain. Don't tell me you can't. Figure out how you do it because you're living over there. People are coming over there, and then you look at who you're treating over there. Okay. That's all I got to say is tell me how we make this happen because I tell you what. We've been doing this. We met over there 3 years ago and looked at everybody at the top of the table, and nobody looked like me or you on that panel. Okay, and there weren't any women on the panel either, except for the director. Except for the director of the school district. But again, there was not any diversity. When I say diversity, I'm looking for Black, Indigenous people of color. And Santana, well, he counts, but when we look at the supply chain, that didn't really count. Because my 2 minutes up. I mean, I could go in deeper on this one. I don't want to go into no real life stories about, why I can't and this don't work or whatever else. But there are no more excuses. We ain't going nowhere. We right here.
Right here. We ain't going to damn place.
Nowhere.
Is it my turn? Is it my turn? Look,
Matthew, I'm coming. It's time to come in hot, Matthew. Hey, I see you over there squirming. You over there squirming in your seat.
You already know I'm coming in hot, bro. Okay, look, I'm gonna tell you, for being in Sacramento all 47 years of my life, I patronize Sacramento City Unified School District. Not only did I go through there, all my siblings went through there, my father went through there, my kids went through there, and during this pandemic, to find out that you didn't service not one Black supplier is a problem. So what I'm challenging, no, I'm not even challenging. I'm telling you, there's a problem. And I'm opening this up for the communities to know. You ain't servicing all those Black kids that go there. Okay, and you don't have one Black supplier. So during this whole pandemic, not one Black supplier benefited from the food that you brought in to feed our kids. You gotta change it. And don't tell me about the cost and money and all this other stuff. That the cost is higher. We live in California. You got taxpayers' money for all these other provisions. Guess what? Then bring the cost down for suppliers that look like me, Cecil, and Jonathan, and much more. Yes. So we're not accepting the fact that, oh, this is just the way it is, or this is cheaper. No, that's not it. If I can have my product in Elk Grove Unified, Natomas Unified, Sacramento, what's the problem? So I'm calling out Sacramento as a city. We're going to peel back the onion and we're going to get to business. But I'm calling it out publicly so that people know. We're tired of playing. We're not asking anymore. We're telling you, hey, this is what we want. This is what equity looks like. And so it sounds like maybe some other people need to be seated at those tables, and maybe our elected officials, we need to take a second look at and see, do we have the right people in office? I don't know.
Sound like somebody gonna be running for office soon. put it out. I'm just saying. You put it out there, bro. I'm just saying. If you're gonna call it out, you got to be willing to change it.
Hey, we got an announcement here. You know, it's not me.
I think I'm just saying if you're gonna call it out, we got to be willing to change it. I mean, I can tell you that I'm destined for something more later. But when Matt brings up a good point, the elected officials, and that's from the county board of supervisors to the city council, to state assembly and senate. I mean, we got to look and see what people are doing when this legislation is passing that actually make it farm to fork, because I go back to whose farm, whose fork. Well, we don't own the farms anymore. And when you hear about the Burgess family that's going to roll out shortly, and it's going to spell out how these farms were just taken and reallocated to folks.
Yes.
So whose farm, whose fork? Well, we got products, no farms, but we can put them on the end of your fork.
Definitely. All right, guys, we got to get up out of here. Please plug everything that you need to plug right now. Your business name, your website, your socials. Please plug it right now for everybody to hear. Go ahead.
Yeah, just go ahead and follow us on Instagram, IG, at the Burgess Brothers. You can also follow at Burgess Brothers Barbecue, and you can also follow at your Waffle. Okay, so we have all three of those lined up. Our webpage is www.burgessbrothers.com. Make sure you look us up. And if you want to go to a number one new release on Amazon, go and check out our mini waffle iron. It's a mini Belgian waffle iron by the Burgess Brothers. That's on Amazon. Still the number one release for 5 straight weeks in a row. You can also check out the Chihuahua. That's still sitting in the top 20 of number one sellers on Amazon.
Yeah.
So yes, we can do this. That's excellent.
And I'm gonna just say, look for Big Bertha getting painted up, dialed in. She'll be over at Sac State. So when we come out of COVID and reopen for a big event, y'all come out and enjoy some barbecue the old school way, how we do it. See, so I'm gonna have you out too, baby.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll be there. I'm there for anything you guys need. Thank you, Burgess Brothers, for coming through to Coming In Hot. Thank you for the hottest. This is hot. I want to take off my shirt after these cameras is off. I tell you that much. It's hot in here. All right, guys. I will see you next time for Coming In Hot. This is Chef Cease. Follow me at Chef Cease, at Nash and Proper, at Coming In Hot, all on IG, all my social, www.nashandproper.com. I'll see you next week, Sacramento. Love you. Peace.